Deputy Andrew Doyle joins us. Good morning, Andrew.
Morning, Declan.
Good morning to you. We're not talking about issues of the day. Nobody's talking about those. They're all talking about the future leader of your party, the future Taoiseach. Where do you stand on this?
Very good. This is sort of the story. I'm not quite sure what the genesis was originally, but it's become one anyway. So it's on the agenda now. Look, it's odd. A week ago, 10 days ago, I read an interesting editorial in one of the papers, I can't remember which said that, you know, no matter what Enda Kenny may have planned, it may be they'll have to stick around longer because of this Brexit thing. And then all of a sudden it just turns around into being something that when's he going, why is he not gone, or why hasn't he made an announcement. I really think there is a time this is going to come to pass, but I'm just wondering why we're doing it now when we're in the middle of something far more traumatic going on across that affects us more seriously than anything else, and that is this whole uncertainty in England about the future implications of Brexit, when it's going to happen, if it's going to happen. And I've discussed this with you last week on the phone about the future. We have a very unsteady political situation in England, in Britain, and now we're trying to create one here ourselves, which to me is not helpful at the moment. I think there's plenty of time for this, but not now. That'll be my opinion. I think we should have just held on and waited until this other thing was sorted out. Personally, that's personal opinion.
Now, is it about 6 years ago you were on the wrong side of the Heave to say goodbye to Enda Kenny, and that was defeated? You spent some time in the wilderness, and now you've got a promotion, Minister of State for Food, Forestry and Horticulture. So you got in and you got basically a gig out of Enda Kenny this time. There is speculation.
Well, I've never opened my mouth about one way or the other whether I got something or not. The last Dáil, I spent 5 years as chairman of the Oireachtas Committee, and I think it's been acknowledged that I did a pretty reasonable job on that by members of the opposition.
But there is talk that the people who didn't get one of the junior ministries or a full ministry are disgruntled, and therefore they are driving this to, you know, get Enda Kenny.
Maybe so. I mean, that's one way or the other, whether one gets the position or not, or doesn't, isn't the reason. I mean, like, being honest, I'm quoting back an article that I read last week or 10 days ago about the post-Brexit position and about the position of Enda Kenny in this country. That, you know, even if he had planned on going sooner, maybe he's going to have to wait till this thing is settled a little bit. And I just think we need to settle. I'm not saying this is going to happen. Like, there's no doubt about it. And because our structure of voting for a new leader is such that it probably takes 4 weeks or thereabouts, 3 to 4 weeks for it to be completed. It's a bit very similar actually to the Conservative system. So this was always going to become an issue. All I'm saying is that would we not have been better waiting until the whole position in Britain, maybe not resolved, but at least settles down. That's all. And it will come. I mean, but the problem was, and we've seen it with David Cameron, the minute you announce that you're going to do something, the whole thing runs off on its own legs then. So for Enda Kenny to say, I'm going to go in June 2017 or whenever it starts now, like, it's very difficult. I mean, I think that's just the nature of things. So
is he a sure, a sure-handed leader at the moment? Because people are talking about, you know, the Arlene Foster situation, about announcing the forum, the Joe O'Toole, the water, we lost him, and various other issues that seem to happen inside a week. Okay, maybe there were circumstances that conspired to do this, but is he sure-footed at all?
Well, I think every now and then people, you know, it's been a pretty hectic. If you take it, the general election was the 25th or 6th of February. We spent a couple of months trying to put together a programme for government. I don't care who you are. I mean, I don't think anyone, no matter how much stamina they have, are not going to have moments of lapses of time. I don't think Joe O'Toole, by the way, is the whole story around that has nothing to do directly with Enda Kenny, to be honest with you. Certainly the Arlene Foster position, how that came to pass wasn't helpful, and maybe a little bit of thought. But like, is that enough in one bad week? Is that enough to say, well, this is it? You know, I'm not so sure that it is. I think we need to just concentrate. Being honest with you, I think the difficulties arose from the main difficulty, it seemed to me, that seemed to have arisen was from the whole issue over some of the members of the cabinet who are not members of Fine Gael having a different approach to a private member's bill from Mick Wallace. That seems to have been the position. And one thing led to another. Hasn't been helpful. It just hasn't been helpful. And as Harold Macmillan said years ago, it's events that happen, you know.
It's events, dear boy.
Events, dear boy. Yeah.
So, is there camps in Fine Gael? And if so, you're in the loyalist camp at the moment.
No, I'm trying to be in a pragmatic camp here. That's all. I've never been one to dance anybody else's tune, and when people try to set an agenda, you know, you try not to just. That's what seems to be happening here. I don't know whether there's camps or not. I was down attending on a thing in Limerick on Friday. Got a call from a journalist. Was I part of a group that was actually organising a certain motion? I said, that's the first I've heard of it. And so I was away on Friday when things seemed to happen a lot. And when I came back here, I just started to read the papers, basically. I'm not in one camp, one way or the other, being honest with you. I'm just giving you my observations here, Declan, as I think I always do.
Very good. Thank you very much, Andrew. Okay, no doubt we'll hear how it goes. Minister of State for Food, Forestry and Horticulture there, Andrew Doyle. Thanks, Andrew. Good morning to you. Thank you. All right, 087 77 11 103 is our number. See if there's interesting